Welcome to another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Adult Business Owners and Entrepreneurs, hosted by me, Sadan Long. And today we are talking about testimonials. Okay, so when you talk about a testimonial, there can be two kinds of testimonials. There could be the ones that actually get you more customers for the next 10 years, and there could be the ones that absolutely do nothing for you. And I was having a conversation the other day, and we were talking about testimonials, and I was saying sometimes you would be better served for them not to say anything. So I had a client one time, and we were working on referrals, and we were working on testimonials, and just getting free marketing, free promotion for people who've actually touched it, smelled it, used it, experienced it, and benefited from it. And the first few that I got from his customers were just them talking about how he looked out for them, how he gave them a discount on the program, how he was able to basically hold their hand and go through each and every component of the program with them, and how he gave them second chances, and how he let them slide on some payments when they were behind. So we sat down, and I was like, hey, these are not helping us. He said, well, what do you mean? You said you wanted testimonials. I'm like, well, these particular testimonials are not helping us because all they're talking about is how you gave them a discount. All they're talking about is how you let them slide. All they're talking about is how, even though they didn't deserve it, you kept doing it. So what that is going to attract for you is more people who want a discount, more people who aren't benefiting from the program because they aren't working hard enough. Okay, so we don't need any more of those testimonials. Okay, now it sounds harsh. I get it. You're a business owner. Somebody's saying something good about you. But if the thing that they're saying good about you is because you gave them a discount, or because you let them in for free, or because you did something that you can't replicate over and over again with every customer, then you're sending the wrong message. Now, if this is something that you actually do on a consistent basis, like we were faster than everybody else, they came immediately. Okay, cool, that works. Okay, but if it's they looked the other way and overlooked the fact that I didn't have all the money, now what are you attracting? You're going to attract more people who want you to look the other way and give them a deal. No different than if you did give somebody a deal and then they sent you someone who then expected you to give them the same deal. So ask yourself, you look out for somebody, they were a few dollars short, the price is really $3.99, and you let them have it for $3.25. So now the next person comes in with $3.25, and they're like, well, you let my friend get it for $3.25. Is that what you really want to build your business on? Because if you build your business on giving people a deal, then you are only going to attract customers who want a deal. And typically people who want a deal don't do as well because it didn't cost them anything. So that's the first thing. When you're starting to get referrals, make sure you get referrals that actually highlight the business and how the business can work for other people who do business with you, who fit in your ideal customer range. Not the customers who are on the fringe. Because you're going to devalue your brand and you're going to become the cheapest. And when you become the cheapest, you never get the best customers. Think of it like this. When people buy champagne, do rich people buy the cheapest champagne? Absolutely not. Okay. They buy one that is closer to their identity, closer to their class level. So if you are a business, what do you want to be associated with? Do you want to be associated with people who can pay you consistently with no problem and use whatever it is that you're selling, and then that makes other people want to use it? Or do you want to be at the bottom of the shelf, and the only people who want you are people who are looking for the cheapest? Because you can't build a business on cheapest. And I know we're talking about referrals and testimonials, but I need you to understand the other side of that. The other side is that if I get referrals that attract cheap people, then I only get to have people who can't help me even when they buy the product, because the kind of customers that I need aren't those people. So even if you're doing a bunch of business with people who don't look like your ideal customer, you're still hurting yourself in the long run, because you're not getting the profit that you should be getting, which means that you can't live the life that you want, which means that you can't hire good people, which means that you aren't not attractive to banks, which means that you can't get funding. So by being cheaper and doing testimonials with people who are cheaper and building your whole business around cheaper, that cheapens your brand. And it's really hard for people to respect you as an expert in your field if you're cheaper. You know, people very seldom want cheap. They want effective. They want fast. They want less stress. Because when it blows up for them, then they get the benefit of it blowing up. They get the benefit of the shine. They get the benefit of the glow. They get the benefit of all the things that come with it. You know, cheap people keep looking for something cheaper, which means that you don't even have any brand loyalty. So now that I've got that out, now that we, kind of had a quick discussion about that, let's actually talk about how to get the kind of testimonials that you want. And there's a formula to it. Real simple, easy formula that you could use in a podcast, that you could use in a post, that you could use on a live, that you could use in person. Real simple, easy formula that works. I've been working it for 7 or 8 years now, and it attracts customers, and it is a set it and forget it method. Okay, again, set it and forget it, meaning if you continue to do it like this, even after you're done doing it, it'll still be working for you. So the first question you want to ask in my testimonial formula is just simple. What were you doing before this? Okay. So the reason you want to ask what the person was doing before is so that you can kind of set the stage and the context for transformation. So before this, what were you doing? Well, I was struggling to lose weight. I was burning the macaroni and cheese. I was losing money. I wasn't getting any customers. So whatever the struggle is, now mind you, I need you to write this down, because this is a formula and you need to get it right the first time so that you can start using it today. Okay. So again, what were you struggling with? So now that is the problem. Okay. So that problem that they're struggling with, other people have. They say that one person represents 1,000 people. So if one person has this problem, there's at least 1,000 people and growing who have the same problem. So what were you doing before this? Okay. Well, I was trying to use Facebook Live and it wasn't really working for me, and I just kept putting out videos and nobody was watching them, and I wasn't getting any customers and people weren't coming to my store. The struggle. Okay. So now, what made you start looking for a solution? Which then goes to the next question, which is what made you start looking for a solution? Typically, that is going to be an emotion. Okay. So now your customer has some type of tired of, frustrated by, confused by, upset by, embarrassed by. Okay. So that's what you're trying to get to. What was the emotion that triggered them to want to look for a solution? Now, the benefit of this is twofold. One, it helps you identify what emotions people are going through so you can better use it in your marketing, because you can then say, are you tired of, are you frustrated by, are you confused by, are you embarrassed by, in your actual marketing. But you also get that customer to start becoming more human to other customers. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I feel the same way, because now people start to connect. So that's what triggered them. So now next step is, okay, so what drew you to us? Okay, so now, what drew you to us? Ideally, what that's going to do is that's going to show that you're competent. That's going to show what is appealing about you. So now they start going to, well, I saw your video, or I saw your ad, or I saw your post, or I saw your flyer. Okay, so now you know what part of your marketing is working. Yeah. Am I getting people because of YouTube? Am I getting people because my flyers are working? Am I getting people because my posts are being seen? So now you can track whatever it is that you do. Did you see me on the Facebook? Did you see me on the Instagram? And if you notice, some of the better companies who have more money invested in their research, when you buy something, those are the things that they start asking. Well, how did you find out about us? So again, twofold. Tells you more about your customers, tells you more about the marketing, also tells you what was most attractive about you. So now, next question is, so what finally made you make the decision to go with us? Now, these are really great decisions. These are really great questions because now it's a differentiator. Okay. So when you ask the customer what made you decide to go with us, what you're also getting them to tell you is what made you decide not to go with them. So now you know whether or not your value statements are working. Now you know whether or not the verbiage and the copy and the messaging is actually working. Because they're going to tell you, hey, well, I decided to go with you because you guys said that you could be same day. Oh, so it was quicker. Okay. Well, I decided to go with you because you said that you work with people just like me. Oh, okay, so it was a niche. See, so now what you're doing is you're defining the things that make you stand out. And then in your marketing, you can go back and use it and say, 90% of the people chose us because we're same day. 90% of the people chose us because they knew that we were the perfect company for small business owners who are looking to make sales and close more deals. And when you start to ask these questions, they're all moving a customer toward making a decision to use you. And they're giving you valuable information that you can then use, plug and play in all your marketing. So what made you decide to go with us? Okay, so now the next question can be either one of two things. Okay. Number one, it can be, when did you know it was working? So like maybe if it's a product. So like if you sell lotions, or if you sell weight loss, or if you sell any kind of cleansing or anything like that. So it might be something that you actually have to wait and delay gratification to really see the full benefit of. So the question now becomes, when did you know it was working? Okay, so the other way that you could go with this, if it's not something that has time related to it, is, when did you know you made a good decision? Okay. When did you feel comfortable that you had made a good decision? Again, you can use this in your marketing. Most of our customers agree that they saw it working within days. Most of our customers agree that they knew that this was a good decision 30 minutes after purchase. Again, the questions that you ask are going to not only help you attract customers, but it's also going to help you build your marketing. So when did you know you made a good decision? I knew I made a good decision as soon as I pulled up. I didn't even have to taste the food. I knew from the smell that this was the right place. So again, there we go. So now you've gotten from where they were to how they felt to what was the trigger to make them do something about it to how did they know it was working. So now when you get that kind of testimony, it becomes, man, I used to struggle, to get customers, and then one night I was up, watching, TikToks, and I saw this guy who said that he could get me sales in minutes. And I said I had nothing to lose because I was really tired of not getting sales. So I clicked the button. The guy tells me he'll have a call with me first thing tomorrow morning. And as soon as I got on the phone with him, I knew it was working. Because he was telling me things that I had never heard before and opening up things to me that I had never really even thought of. Now, see how that makes the customers that you do business with going forward look at you differently? Because it's not you saying you're great, it's the customer saying you're great. It's people who've actually tried it and used it and experienced it who are saying, man, this thing works, and here's how long it's going to take. So when did you know it was working? When did you know, that you make a good decision? Now, the next part of this is, now that we've gotten the success, now that we've gotten past the trauma, now it becomes, okay, so if there was one thing that you really were satisfied with, what would that thing be? So now we're talking about ease. Was it easy to deal with? Was it easy to start? Was it something that I could then actually recommend to somebody else who was worried about that thing? If there was one thing that really stood out, well, it was their customer service. I mean, they showed up, they were clean, they were neat. They got in, they got out. Okay, so whenever we talk about creating value, we talk about creating value, and the way that we create value that allows us to stand out from everybody else as a business owner is when we are faster, when we are easier, and when we provide it with less stress. So my customer is going to be happier with me because I got it done faster, to deal with me was easier, and they didn't have to worry, so it was less stressful. Now that is going to then attract every other customer who is looking for something easy, fast, and with almost no stress. So again, there we go. Those are the 5 key questions that you want to build it around. What's the one thing that stood out? So now when you're doing your marketing, again, you can say, hey, this thing right here that we do, customers love. Customers love us. Customers do repeat business with us because of this right here. Because of how fast we are, because of how courteous we are, because of how well it works. So again, these are the 5. And then the next one, which is really extremely important, because this is going to do 2 things that's going to really help you. So pay close attention. How likely are you to recommend us to a family, friend, or loved one on a scale of 1 to 10? And if you've been watching Kevin Samuels usually said taking out 6 or 7, or taking out 6 and 7. How likely are you to recommend us to somebody else? Now, the reason this is an extremely important question, because the people who give you 9s and 10s, those are the people you need to put most of your time and energy into. Because those are the people who are going to, on their own, check in, go live, bring friends. Those are the people who are going to promote for you. And if you follow me and you've been watching these videos, if you open, you should be promoting. So now if you're open and you're promoting, and you have 5 or 6 people who are quote unquote net promoters who are also promoting, those are the people who are sharing your lives. Those are the people who are in your comments. Those are the people who are hitting the hearts and the likes. Those are the people who are telling other people to come and watch. And the way that you identify them is by asking, how likely are you to recommend us to a family and friend on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay. And when you do that, these are the people that I need to put a whole bunch of love into. These are the people I need to give free stuff to. These are the people that I need to put in a t-shirt. These are the people I need to put in a hat. These are the people I need to make VIP, because these are the people that are going to bring me more business. Shout out to my man Matt Dooley. If you go back, you look at some of my old work, you'll see that Matt and I had a conversation, and I was like, hey, bars love Matt. Why? Because Matt's the guy who's going to bring 5 people with him. He's like, hey man, we're going to go meet here. Okay. And not only are we going to meet here, he's going to spend money. He's going to buy rounds. He's going to be an asset to that business. You need people who are going to be an asset to the business. I think about my old Giovanni's days. Shout out to Sean K. Rest in heaven. Peace to the homeboy. Big bro. So when I was hanging out with Sean, I would actually throw parties at Giovanni's. And what would end up happening is people would come, they'd have a good time, and then he'd say, hey, we have comedy on Friday nights. So now all of a sudden people who would come would then show up again on Friday night, whether I was there or not. All of a sudden I would be standing there having a conversation with him, and somebody I would know would then walk through the door and order $60 worth of food. You know, somebody I know would then have a party there. Somebody that I know would then have a baby shower there. So the relationship he had with me was not only beneficial in the short term, but it was beneficial in the long term, because now he was able to get repeat business from people that did business with me and had respect for me and knew me and were persuaded by me. So what you want to do as a business owner, you want to try to get as many of those people on your team as possible. You know, because they're going to fight for you. You know, they're going to stand up for you. You know, they're going to champion you. So when you ask that question, make sure that you're getting enough information to identify the right customers. Okay, 8, 9s, and 10s. Okay, so again, let's go back and we're gonna go through this from the top. Okay, so number one, what were you doing before this? It's that simple. What were you doing? Were you struggling? Were you fat? Were you tired? Were you overwhelmed? What were you doing before this? Then two, what was the thing that finally made you make the decision? Number three, what was the thing that made you know that this was a good decision? When did you know it was working? Number four, what was the thing that stood out? What stood out? What was the stood out thing? Like, wow. When did you know you were making a good decision is important, because a lot of people have buyer's remorse. So you want to show people that they won't have buyer's remorse. How likely are you to then recommend us to your family, friends, and loved ones? On a scale of 1 to 10, removing either 6 and 7 or removing 6 and 7, so that now they are forced to then give you a good answer. So when you go through this, go all the way back, watch it from the beginning, write them down, and this is how you should now be interacting with your customers when getting testimonials. Because the idea that you're going to do business with somebody and they're not going to help bring you more business is just a problem. Right now you need business. And if you do this and you do it right, it's set it and forget it. I said it the other day. We did a Students to Stars, which is, something I do with clients and their customers. And the customer that we did it with, it's pinned on their Facebook page. So now, every time somebody comes to her page, they hear her story. They hear her testimonial. And her story and her testimonial is directly adjacent to my client. So now when they're promoting themselves, they're also promoting you. Ideally, what you want is easy sales, and there are no sales that are easier than when people who are already sold, especially when they were not sold by you. So it's the holiday season. We are 20 days away from Christmas. This is something you could do today. It is only 5 or 6 questions. If you ask those questions, you can use your phone to do it. You can use a text to do it. You can do it a variety of different ways, and then you could use that information in your marketing over the next 6 to 7 years, and it'll get you customers, because it's all in customer language. It's not in your language. You're not talking over people's heads. It is in their words. I was out there bad. So now when other customers who are similar to that customer are watching, they're like, yeah, I feel like I'm kind of out there bad too, or I'm out there bogus, or whatever the colloquialisms that they use in your particular community are. So it's not in business speak. You know, you could use impressions and target markets and EBITDA and things of that nature. It's like, man, at the end of the day, we were struggling, man. We had sales, but man, our bills was high. And somebody would identify with that over, well, when we looked at the projections. So that is the other added benefit. And then the other thing, man, it's going to help protect you from poverty. Getting referrals builds trust. Trust leads to leads. Leads lead to sales. Because people don't trust you, they're not going to give you their contact information. If people don't trust you, they're not going to pick up the phone for you. If people don't trust you, they're not going to open emails. So again, the other unseen benefit of this is that it builds trust. And if you have trust, then it's easier to get referrals. Because now people believe in you. So not only is the testimony attracting customers, the people who are giving the testimonies are more likely to recommend other people. They're more likely to be more passionate about you. I go back to when I was doing t-shirts and first starting out, when I wrote God Wants You to Dominate during that period. Which is still available at Amazon, global bestseller. And I had a friend who introduced me to her people, and walked me into some rooms and did a huge t-shirt order with me. So, again, she didn't have to do that. She didn't have to introduce me to anybody. She didn't have to buy from me. She didn't have to recommend her friends buy from me. But she did. And that money, hell, it probably paid a phone bill. It probably enabled me to buy an audio book. It probably enabled me to then reinvest in the business, which is part of the reason I'm here today. So these customers right here that we're talking about, those 8, 9, and 10s, those people who would obviously recommend you to other people, not only does their testimonial work, they work. So now you have salespeople that you're not paying. And if you're going to be a huge brand, and you're going to be a successful entrepreneur, you're going to be somebody who can hire people, you need people who are working for you off the books. People who are calling people saying, girl, so-and-so having a party. Well, how much is it? Girl, don't worry about how much it is. Them parties be lit. Because that's what happens. Word of mouth gets you customers. So you need that word of mouth. But the question is, how do you figure out who is the person that's going to give it to you, so that you can then pump enough time and energy into them to make sure that they understand exactly what you do, understand exactly the benefit of it, understand all the things that they need to know in order to then recommend you to other people. Okay? And I prefer people who demand over recommend, by the way. I need people to demand you work with me. Hey man, if you're not working with Sadan, then you stupid. That's the attitude I need. So when I identify those people, I give them everything I could possibly do to ensure that they have the success that they need, to ensure that they know that I love them, care for them, respect them, and appreciate them. So that's what you want to do, because here's the thing that people need to understand. Before I get off, I'm about to get off. We almost at 28 minutes, and we usually go about 30. So here's the thing I need you to understand right now. People are going to say that people do not support you. Okay, here's the thing. People do support you. But what kind of support do you need to build a strong, successful, consistent business that allows you to be full-time, pay yourself a really good salary, pay other people, so that you can then walk away and do other things that you want to do any given day without worrying about the business slowing down? Because your friends, they're supporting. They're doing everything that a friend is supposed to do. Okay, so it's not that people don't support you, it's that the customers don't support you. People are supporting you. It is the customers who are not supporting you. Okay, so what you have to do is now figure out a way to find more people who can really benefit from what you do, so that you could then have some net promoters. Because if people get great results, then they're going to feel great. And if they feel great, they're going to talk about you. They're going to call you with other people on the phone. They're going to be places and give your number out and then tell you, hey, my guy going to call you tomorrow. Now, these are easy sales. And this time of year, depending on what your price point is, man, that could give you enough money to go 90 days. One sale right now could help you out for the whole quarter. Depending on what your price point is. So again, you want to make sure that you get the best testimonial possible. You don't want to get testimonials that make you look like a brand that you're not. That they were the cheapest, or they hooked me up, or they gave me a deal, because then all that's going to do is make more people want to get the hookups and the deals. It's not going to make people want to do business with you. But if they're talking about how you helped them overcome their problem, how fast, effective, easy, talking about the things that stood out and make you different, now that's going to then attract more of your ideal customer. So when you get more of your ideal customer, guess what? Sales become easier, business gets better, you feel better, and now you start to move in the direction that you really want to go, which is to become a successful business owner who's able to hire great people, who's able to meet their financial demands, who's able to walk away any given day for days at a time and know that everything's going to be okay. So instead of being stuck in the store making sure everybody's working, instead of being stuck in the office making sure everybody's making calls, you can go get a spa day. You can take a vacation. You can go hang out and have lunch and enjoy life. Spend more quality time with your kids. You can walk away comfortably knowing that when I come back tomorrow, it's still going to be here. And if you're a solopreneur, this is even more important, because the only salesperson you got is you. So you can literally enlist salespeople that you're not paying, and they'll help you grow your business. When somebody refers a client to me now, I have some people on my team that I can then get some of the work done with. But before, and I was doing all the work, man, that meant I was getting all the money. But if I wasn't selling, then I wasn't getting any money. So if I didn't feel good, or it was a day where I just didn't have it, man, I don't feel like getting on these phones and calling these people back. I don't feel like doing no Facebook Lives. I don't feel like recording no content. I don't feel like doing no research. But on those days, how cool is it for somebody to call you? For somebody to text you, for somebody to DM you, for somebody to say, hey, so-and-so told me to call you because you can help me. How cool would that be? Imagine what that looks like and would feel like for you to be struggling right now, and then somebody just come through the door and say, hey, I want to throw a party. So that is the benefit of doing it the right way. And if you do it the right way, you will get the right result. People need to know from people who look like them what it's like to do business with you. It's that simple. So that has been another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Small Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. And if you have any questions during the playback, go over to growningrich.com and click the Make Money Fast button. And what's going to happen is they're going to send me an email, which I'm then going to return that email to you, and we're going to set up a time. We're going to talk about your business, your marketing, your people, your goals, what's going good, what's not going good. And any information that you get that can help you, which is not uncommon, you get to keep. And any benefit you get from the information that I gave you during that 30-minute call, or 15 to 30 minutes depending on the business, you get to use. So it's a free consult with somebody who's made millions of dollars in this industry, somebody who's advised multiple 7-figure CEOs, Emmy winners, Business Women of the Year, and it's free. So because it's free, you have absolutely nothing to lose. So until the next time, again, this is your business big bro, sit down long, aka the most dangerous man in marketing. Everybody go out there and have a great day. Man, make sure you do this stuff. Please, please, please make sure that you do it. It works. These are things that I'm using with clients and it is working. So make sure that you do what works until it works. As always, man, I love you. It has been an honor. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to interact with me, and have a great day, and I'm out. Compliment.